Right now, the most expensive outfit in human history is hanging in a closet, and it is almost 50 years old. You have probably seen the number floating around, a single spacesuit worth tens of millions of dollars. Some estimates for a modern replacement run far higher than that. And your first instinct is probably the same as everyone else's. It's just clothing. Thick clothing, sure. Special fabric, fine. But how does any outfit cost more than a private jet? Stay with that question because the answer is going to flip somewhere in the next few minutes. Start with the evidence. The white suits astronauts wear outside the International Space Station are called EMUS, short for extravehicular mobility units. NASA had them designed in the 1970s, and only a small batch of flight ready units was ever built. Not thousands, not hundreds, roughly 18. And according to a report from NASA's own Office of Inspector General, only a fraction of those are still usable today. The suits protecting astronauts right now are older than most of the astronauts wearing them. Go back further, and it gets stranger. The suits that walked on the moon were made by a company called ILC Dover, which at the time was a division of Playtex. Yes, that Playtex. The Apollo suits were hand stitched layer by industrial seamstresses, some of whom previously sewed bras and girdles. 21 layers of fabric sewn to tolerances finer than a millimeter, because a single misplaced seam could kill a man a quarter of a million miles from home. And in 2021, NASA's Office of Inspector General reported that the agency had already spent more than $400 million trying to develop the next generation of suits and still did not have a single new flight ready unit to show for it. NASA eventually handed the job to a private company, Axiom Space, in a contract worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So the price is real. The question is why. To understand it, you have to picture what a spacesuit actually does. Imagine an astronaut floating outside the station, 650,000 pounds of hardware behind her, and absolutely nothing in front of her. No air. If her suit failed, the oxygen in her lungs would rush out in seconds. On the sunlit side of her body, the temperature can climb to roughly 250 degrees Fahrenheit. On the shaded side, it can plunge to roughly 250 below zero. Both at the same time, on the same person. Around her, tiny fragments of dust and debris are moving at orbital speeds, many times faster than a rifle bullet. A paint fleck at that speed hits like a hammer. Her suit is handling all of it at once. It holds pressure like a balloon that refuses to pop. It feeds her oxygen and scrubs the carbon dioxide from every breath. A network of thin water tubes woven against her skin carries away her body heat. It powers her radio, her lights, her cooling, her fans. It even has layers designed to absorb impacts. She is not wearing an outfit. She is wearing life support, armor, climate control, and a communication system, all shaped like a person. And that is the twist. A spacesuit is not expensive clothing. It is a spacecraft, the smallest spacecraft ever built, with a crew of exactly one. But hold on, because the biggest surprise is still ahead. The real reason these suits cost so much is not the materials, and it is not even the engineering. It is something much more ordinary, and it is hiding in your pocket right now. Think about your phone. It is one of the most complex objects you have ever touched. Billions of transistors, cameras, sensors, radios, and yet it costs less than a month's rent. Why? Because the billions of dollars it took to develop it are split across hundreds of millions of identical phones. Every buyer pays a tiny slice of the invention. Now do that math for spacesuits. All the research, the testing, the custom tooling, the specialized workers, the decades of safety validation, divided by a production run of about 18. When almost nothing gets built, every single unit carries the full weight of everything it took to invent it. If only 18 of your phone existed on Earth, each one would cost hundreds of millions of dollars too. And that is also why NASA cannot simply build new ones cheaply. The seamstresses retired. Some of the original materials are no longer manufactured. The institutional knowledge scattered. Researchers like Dava Newman at MIT, who served as NASA's deputy administrator, have spent years exploring radically different designs, like suits that squeeze the body with tension instead of gas pressure, precisely because rebuilding the old way is so slow and so expensive. Starting over is not sewing. It is inventing a spacecraft again from scratch. So the next time you see that price tag and feel your brain reject it, remember what you're actually looking at. Not fabric, not fashion. A one-person vehicle that keeps a soft human body alive in a place that kills everything. Because the most expensive outfit in human history was never really hanging in a closet at all. It was parked there, a spaceship waiting for its crew of one.